Everyone, welcome to section 6.1 of the homework, discussing bond prices. So we'll be calculating the bond prices given a table of annual coupon payments. So I've downloaded my table. Before we take a look at any calculations, let's briefly discuss each column. And we're going to discuss it in reference to our function. So we're determining bond prices. So in terms of the function that we'll be using, we're ultimately trying to calculate the present value of these bonds. Now, our par value is our future value, so what's worth, or the price, what's worth in the future. And our coupon rate is our percentage of coupon payments. But what we also have to determine is our annual coupon payment. So this is the rate in which we're getting paid. But if we're going to use our present value, we need to understand our annual coupon payment. So let's take a look at a little formula here. Okay, our annual coupon payment is equal to our par value, annual coupon rate, divided by the number of payments. So we can actually calculate our annual coupon payment, and we'll do that by putting it here. So we'll create another column for it. Okay, so and if we reference the formula, ultimately we're trying to figure out is what are our payments. Okay, so remember, it's our periodic payments that we'll be getting, and we know that's an annual payment, so this is what we're getting every year. Now, in order to calculate that, again, we'll just look at our formula. So our par value, okay, so in this case, our first section A is $1,000 future value for the bond, and we're going to multiply that by the percent, or the coupon rate, which is our 8%. And now we need to divide by the number of payments per year. But in this case, since we know it's annual, well, we know we're only going to get paid once per year, so we make that 1. Okay? So we understand now the value of the coupon rate helps us understand or calculate the annual coupon payment. Now let's discuss a little bit about the years to maturity. So in other words, if this bond is going to mature in 10 years, and we'll be getting a payment of $80 per year up until 10 years. So in regards to our present value, this is going to be our N, and it's the number of periods. But we need to make sure that we're adjusting properly. So remember, N is the number of periods, it's not necessarily the number of years. So it's always going to be our years multiplied by M. And if you recall, M is simply the number of periods in that year that we will be paid out. Now, because this is an annual coupon payment, M is actually equal to 1. So yes, in this case, we can use 10 as it's not only the number of years, but it's also the number of periods. Okay. Next is the yield to maturity. So this is what we're going to be using as our rate in regards to our present value. Okay. Now again, our rate has to be adjusted for the number of periods. So it's our yield to maturity, in this case divided by M. So if you recall from calculating the annual periodic rates of APR, if it's quarterly, we'd have to divide by 4. If it was daily, 365, right? So again, the number of periods that will be paid out has to be adjusted for our rate. But again, in this case, since it's annual, we can keep it at 1. So we can actually use this percent without making any further adjustments or calculations. So now we have our future value, we have our payment, we have N for our number of periods, and we have our rate. So we can go ahead and calculate our present value, or the price of the bond. So we're going to use our present value function. Our rate is 6%. Our number of periods, we're going to get paid out 10 times, and we're going to get paid $80. Okay. Future value is 1,000, and that should do it for us. Okay. So we've calculated the price of the bond for part A. We'll punch that in. Okay. We'll continue. So again, you can go through it manually, but since we have our formulas in, we can drag these down, okay, and autofill. So again, we see our annual coupon payment in relation to our rate and our par value and so forth. And once we have our three variables, we can solve for our present value. Okay, we've solved for all the prices. Thanks for watching and happy financing.